Welcome all. We are here for another very insightful conversation with Giovanni Farese, who is the CEO and co-founder of Webidoo and Juice. Welcome again, Giovanni.
It's a great pleasure to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, your company, what services it provides.
So, firstly, thank you so much for having me as a guest. It's a great pleasure. Just a quick introduction about myself. I am Giovanni. I am the CEO and co founder at Webidoo. Webidoo is a tech company founded 7 years ago with a very clear mission that is still actual nowadays, helping business from small to large to embrace new technologies, especially AI technologies.
Very nice. I mean, who are your customers generally, Giovanni? Like what areas they are in, what industries? Is it public sector, small businesses?
Yeah, is a nice question because you know that we operate in the B2B market. So any business is a potential client for Webidoo. But our specialization, where I so focus, especially about the future that we see for our company, is about the small and medium business. Because you know that the small and medium business, they have a completely different challenge and also plans in terms of growth compared with a large enterprise. We also serve some large enterprises because some of our products and technologies can also help these big brands to execute and integrate very well the AI. But our primary focus is on small and medium business.
Now, that's great to know that Webidoo is reshaping how entrepreneurs and global businesses adopt to AI, automation, and digital capabilities. So, a little bit background of yourself. You're just mentioning that you're from Italy. What was your journey in building a
Yeah,
multinational AI focused tech company? What's this vision, discipline, and belief?
yeah. Firstly, say that I have a big passion for anything is innovation and tech. I'm not a developer. I don't know so much about coding. I'm not an engineer, but I always was fascinating in my life about the new technologies, innovation, especially how in the last 20 years we evolved as humans in this world where the technologies are changing everything. So for the first part of my career, I used to work in some companies, some Italian companies and international companies, just navigating and helping this company in the organization. I was in charge to organize the big teams and very structured companies. We helped usually also other companies to organize better their process, especially marketing and sales process. Then at a certain point, I decided that I wanted to create something, not only in terms of company, but create something that was able to generate innovation, able to generate new products. And this is the reason why that with the other two co-founders, Egidio and Daniel, starting from Italy 7 years ago, we created Webidoo, and now we are present in so many countries, including the USA, where I am today.
Nice. So, I mean, your career spanned into like sales, operations, and now AI leadership, right? What leadership lessons shaped the way you build products and teams in Webidoo?
So this is my personal point of view, and probably is a little bit disruptive considering that so many media today are also announcing that the AI will replace some workforce, etc. No? So my vision, I truly believe that the humans are still playing a crucial role in any company, especially if you see the humans as leaders, in the terms of leaders, in terms of leading an organization, because the technology can't lead an organization. They can just help leaders, of course, can help leaders to work better, to improve their skills, can help like a co-pilot to just increase your productivity, but of course can't apply some skills that the people are inside. So in my experience and in my vision, especially if we talk about the future, how create something today that it was still competitive in 2 3 years, 5 years, I think that the human part of the organization is the most important, where the leaders should focalize.
It's interesting that you see that it's a very human-centric leadership, is what you're saying. So that brings us like, what do you think as a CEO? What are your top leadership priorities are?
So this is a great question, considering that it depends, of course, of the stage of your company. We are today in a scale-up phase, in a phase where also we need to reinforce some teams and even introduce new roles that we didn't have in the past. Just to give you an example, the people and culture manager. No? So we have the lucky that when we are now recruiting the people, because we already are in the AI era, our focus is just finding talents, not only in terms of soft skills, not only in terms of communication, management, or time management, any kind of soft skills, but managers that are already they are already hands-on the new technologies. So it's very important in the new interview when we looking for new talents, evaluate also that these people have already started to integrate the AI in their daily activities and how they are using the AI. What is the principal benefits that they are getting?
And that brings up to one of my favorite questions, Giovanni. The one is talent. Our firm is a data intelligence firm which actually specializes in talent and consulting. So one of the things we look for is predominantly also technical skills, but also the soft skills. How do you understand business domain, culture, the changing times? As you rightly said, the talent should also adapt itself to the changing emerging technologies. In your view, what is the biggest AI talent you see that is super important at this point?
So I would say just the curiosity and creativity. You know why? Because we don't know what it will be the new tool that will be released tomorrow or after tomorrow. Yesterday, they already released a new GPT 1 week ago and a new release of Google. So we are literally living in a moment in the history of the humans where the technology has a velocity that we never seen before. So this is very important when you evaluate new talents to understand that you can't find a talent that is already aware about new technologies, even if you think about the next 6-12 months. So the skills that an AI expert should have today is more about curiosity and creativity. Is about to be open-minded and say, okay, I wanna be so open in terms of new opportunities and new technologies that I want to try, experiment, and do a lot of pilots, do a lot of POCs. People that comes from an environment where trialing and analyzing mistakes is the key of their job or their business. No, this is an acceleration in terms of new organization and how they can leverage new technologies.
Yeah. Now that brings up to another very related topic. Like sometimes the SMEs often
Mhm.
feel overwhelmed by AI, right?
Yeah.
What is the real barrier in your opinion? Sometimes it
There
can
are
be.
there are many because when you are a small business, you of course can't rely on a lot of resources like usually the big brands, big company has like I don't know money, structure team, expertise, consultants, a lot of resources. The small business usually doesn't have nothing of this. But what is the big barrier for them? Of course, the time. You have to imagine when we talk about small business or micro business, I mean, I came from a country where the 90% of the economy is completely based on small and very small business. So very small business is like my grandmother that she was like a farmer. So when you think about how this, and now we talk about solo entrepreneurs, or people that can just startuppers, we call them. But the startupper is not different of a farmer of 56 years ago. No? They have only their own resources and they have to create something. They have to figure out if there is a market, how they can sell this product. So the big barrier that they have is the time. And this is also the reason why the AI itself represents a completely game changing in the future economy, because we are entering in an economy where the sole entrepreneurs probably they finally have more competitive advantages than the big companies because they are faster. They can have access to technology that are very cheap now, like AI tools. I mean, we are talking about 10, $20 per month, very cheap. And they are the only ownership of the business. So they can move very fast. But the time is a big barrier.
No, you're right, Giovanni. I'm also a part of a small business council locally. One of the things, and of course, in the US market, the backbone is small businesses. And one of the
Mhm.
main things, as you rightly pointed out, is time.
Yeah.
Also, small businesses, also sometimes it is cost. Most often, and also they have like 15, 16 different tools, and sometimes they wonder how to integrate all of the tools.
Yeah.
So cost definitely becomes a big factor for small businesses, and I think a mindset, knowledge, what to trust, on that point, if a business is starting from zero, what are the first steps they should take to adopt AI safely and effectively?
Yeah, this is a good question because what usually happen in, especially for a small business, that they start to navigate and trying to find the best tools for their business. No, and they literally search online something like a tool to do this. I need a tool for my email. I need a tool for my calendar. I don't know if you work with appointments and blah blah blah. So the very correct point where you should start your analysis is more about what is exactly the bottleneck in your business. So the questions, the first step, it should be calm down, just stop and reflect on what is the bottleneck of your business. I don't know, you are a bakery, maybe your bottleneck it could be the process to acquiring the ingredients and create the croissants or the breads that you will sell. I don't know, any business for sure they have a lot of bottlenecks. When you identify the bottleneck, the second step is just write down, even on a paper, write down the process based on the human skills. Don't think about AI. Think about how a human, a person, could do exactly the process in the best way. And maybe you can't afford the new person to do it. You know, the exercise is if you have another person in your team, how this person can fix this bottleneck. Then at that point where you are very clear what is the bottleneck and what is the process to fix the bottleneck, you have to start to find the right AI tools. And we have thousands of AI tools. People usually only think about the conversational AI, like the chatbot, no, like OpenAI or Anthropics, etc. But there are plenty of digital tools that probably can fix exactly the same bottleneck that you are trying to.
Nice. So, when building AI tools for non technical users on the same lines, what were the biggest design and adoption challenges? Like, what principles guided you in keeping those experiences simple and intuitive?
Yeah, again, we are living in a era where the developing new products, especially softwares, no, is becoming so easy. You can use AI to develop. You don't need a lot of engineers. You can't replace the process yet, but you don't need so many people like in the past. So what is the area where you should invest more because you are saving maybe on some developing aspects is of course the design, no? Because how easy is use your technologies or onboard your technology, it will be the different in terms of competition in the next few months, not years, just few months. So when we develop products, this happened, for example, for our one of the best products that we developed that is called Juice. Juice is an AI marketing automation platform for very small business. We started from the point how this very small business, these sole entrepreneurs usually act with digital tools. They use Instagram, they use WhatsApp, they use some apps on their smartphone. No? So we started from the inspiration to use the same design, use the same shortcuts that usually the app that they already use in their personal life could be applied in their business. The secret is simplicity.
Very nice. I mean, it's so basic, right? The business we call in our architecture and design when we talk, it's BPM tools, how
Mm.
to do business process management, automation. So, those are the simplest of the things, And as you said, there's so many tools right here. Every tool has a particular use case, right? If you were starting again today, like you mentioned about the Webidoo AI roadmap, right? What is one of the decisions that really helped you to pivot for a long term strategy? Like if you're starting again today, what would you do something differently?
So I would say when in 2021, roughly, we had this oversee about the new technologies and we decided to develop an orchestration system. So we had at that time the intuition to say that this AI in terms of new technology, no, will revolutions everything in terms of new opportunities, business, etc. So what we decided to do is just create a layer that can coordinate and use multiple AI brains together. So using, I don't know, the OpenAI infrastructure to write down a text, a copy, no, using Perplexity to do an analysis, using Adobe AI to create an image. So using this in a workflow, multiple AIs, because every tool has a specific skill. Now, GPT is not the same of Perplexity or Gemini. They, for any kind of reason, they are very good in some specific skills. They are less in others. So if you can orchestrate and ask to each of them the best job that they can do on a single workflow, you will create something that it will be, in our case, even nowadays after 3-4 years, still super actual and super visionary about the next 5 years.
So you talked about a bit of agentic work, right? With some of the things like now AI agents like Grow, they promise to automate repetitive work, but they also change how teams operate also, right? What leadership or organization challenges arise like when introducing automation on traditional businesses?
Yeah, consider here the challenge is we are in the year of the agentic AI, because all the companies, especially big companies, they are integrating these AI agents. So when we created our product dedicated to the AI agents that we call Grow, we started again from a different point of view. No, we didn't want to create another AI agent workflow or AI agent platform because already there are so many that are good. Make.com, I don't know, there are so many that can do that job. No? We started from a different point of view. And again, we say, but if you are a medium business, if you can't invest thousands and thousands of dollars to analyzing process, the new technology, etc., but you wanna give to your employees, to your team, the superpowers of the AI, how you can do it. Grow started with this concept to create AI agents specialized in specific areas like HR, like marketing, like sales, like coaching the CEOs of this company and working from the day one without any integration, just connecting your email, your calendar, and starting to work for you. So again, in a different way to use the technology, easier and simpler than other softwares.
So, how do you help leaders, Javon, to build trust in AI, to take over daily tasks?
Yeah, it is not easy, of course, especially because even if we are, I'm talking about our company now. No, if even if you are in a young company, tech company with usually an average of young people in your organization. No, in any case, the average is maybe around 30, 32. So you don't have problems that in other organization is called about not the change management related to something that is maybe in a company with so many years of expertise. We are younger, we are in the tech space. Nonetheless, in any case, we have problems in terms of adoptions because some teams, departments, or even roles, they are less able to experiment, use, and trust in these AI tools. Let's give an example. No, the legal team, or sometimes the HR team, or even the finance team, they came from an expertise where human always were centered in their job. So it's a little bit difficult, more difficult to. So what we experimented just to give as a suggestion is just give them the opportunity to test and try. For example, now we just completed our budget for 2026, and in some case, when the people asked us money for a specific investment, even to hiring new people, they say, I need a new person to do this one. We say, okay, I can't approve your investments in this specific new team member, etc., but I will double the cost that you allocated, transforming this cost in an investment in AI. On one side, I can't authorize you to hire a new person, but on the other side, I want to double your budget and you can invest in AI. So just push them and give them the resource, again, like the money, to experiment AI.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, in a way, some of the repetitive tasks, assessments are much more long term cost of, returns are much better, especially if they invest a lot more on agentic AIs, because it's a repetitive and, yeah, that's wonderful. So what is as you were doing the AI capabilities, I mean, as they evolve, what is the toughest trade off you have had to make? Sometimes it's also speed, sometimes it's feature development, safety, innovation, or is there something else?
So in the last year, I would say speed, because in any case, you are in a very competitive market where you can just find a new startup that has a small team, a
Yeah.
smart team that maybe in few months can create something that didn't exist before, and you have to compete with them. Speed probably is the toughest trade-off and even the challenge that's for people that are developing products, no, they have to keep in mind. So take a look about exactly how fast you can release a new feature, test the new feature, or also analyzing your clients to understand what is the next feature to develop.
Yeah. So how do you manage that gap, Giovanni, if it is speed versus feature development? How do you find a fine balance between both?
So the right balance in any case is just concentrate on small developments. This is a best practice in the developing in general because, of course, for example, working on sprints for 15 days usually can help you to reduce the time to market, or in any case, the time to develop something new. I think that AI also can help you a lot because consider that in the past, a lot of effort was on testing new features, qualifying new features, analyzing if there are any bugs, etc. Now you can do that job very well with AI, probably even better than humans. And so you can speed up some phases. So again, analyzing how the AI can work as a co-pilot with your developing team to leverage speeds without compromise quality and results.
Okay. Okay. So I think fundamentally what you're saying is you still the same principles of software development life cycle like SDLC, agile practices, best practices are still used in AI kind of developments. Correct, right? Whether you're building feature developments, you still are releasing in bite size. So, so that brings what are the core principles that have helped you build AI products that real people they actually understand, trust, and adopt. One is you explained about small feature development, SDLC. Is there anything else, Giovanni, that you would like to add?
Yeah, consider that working with a very small business really help us to understand how this kind of not technical users, because again, imagine the scene of a pizza maker, no, or just a yoga teacher can just use the technology, especially in the small moments of the day where they can just disconnect from their business and invest time in new technologies, adopting them, etc. So the secret even here is make it simple. So working on the simplicity, I think that a lot of effort should be put on the onboarding. So when you design how these clients can onboard your technologies and the onboarding, again, there are so many companies that they are focused on the onboarding like the first step when you join in a product. But when you are using a product, anytime that you release a new features, you have to think about the onboarding of the new feature. So don't forget that even if the clients, whether if the client is already using your software, it doesn't mean that they can just embrace a new skills and new features so fast because they are using it. So putting attention on the onboarding and again the human support is crucial in this phase because just recording an easy video where they can see themselves like a business owner using the technologies, doing some steps can really help us. And just a tricky point is how you can communicate with them. So one of the best practice today available with AI is that I can record the video like me that explain to you, Malti, how onboard our products. And then I can use my video and transform myself in a pizza maker or in a yoga teacher or in a plumber, just to, even in terms of visual, give them a content where they see themselves. This helps a lot because they say, there is another plumber, even if it's generated with AI, but they can see exactly how they are doing to onboard the product.
Wow, that's interesting. Does your company do that, Giovanni?
Yeah, we are experimenting now. We are in the experimentation of some AI, generative AI for contents. And this is one of the field that I love more, no? How to communicate in the same language, not only in terms of tone of voice, but even in terms of visual of your clients.
That's fantastic. I mean, storytelling is such a huge thing.
Yeah,
And
it is.
especially in the product area,
Yeah.
telling the story in a different, I mean, that's fantastic actually. Yeah. So, if can you share any hypothesis or feature that didn't work the way you expected?
Yeah, this happen very often, honestly, because when you push your organization to trial, you do a lot of
Yeah.
mistakes. No, let me think. Probably one was with the Grow, because one of the feature of Grow is the meeting note taker. So just allow Grow to join in your meeting, record everything, write down your minute and summarize the topics of the meeting. So in the beginning, we pushed a lot to release these features because there are so many APIs that you can use to introduce this feature in your products. But some of these API, they're working well in some languages because usually they are designed for example, the US market. They work a little bit less good, less well than in other markets, like for example, the European, where you have the France languages, Italian, Spanish, etc. So what we figured out at that time is that these features started to summarize in the wrong way the meeting. So it was a little bit a mess in the beginning.
Yeah.
And again, in that case, you have to learn very fast. The only way, I mean, that case that saved us is if you are using the tool, if you are the first adopter of your tool and you push your organization to use your products before that the clients will use them, you will fix very fast because your
That's true.
organization can recognize the
Yeah.
mistake, the
Yeah.
bug, and help you to fix so fast.
Yeah. 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 That's well right said. So digital marketing tools are everywhere, right? But most businesses still struggle to convert online activity into real growth. So from your perspective, what is the root cause of this gap?
So probably there is so much noise. There are so much noise in general, especially if we talk about digital marketing and marketing in general. So there is a big confusion about what you have to do, and this is weird because usually you need just a few steps. I mean, if you are especially a business, again here it doesn't matter if you are small or big. The first things that you need is be visible online because when someone is looking for you, if now I'm looking for a laundry, the first thing that I do as a users, but this is for you, this is for everyone, is just opening your Google Maps or Apple Maps and just type about laundry. And what happens if I can't find your business? I will never come in your business. So the first step is be visible. The second step is advertising your services and products. So storytell about why you are different of others. And the third step is engage your clients. So as soon as you will have a certain number of clients, put your marketing activities on leverage and nurturing this customer base that you are building. No, these are just these three simples, but there is a lot of noise, there is a lot of confusion, and there is a lot of pressure because everyone, even the freelancer, everyone's try to sell you some things in terms of marketing.
Yeah.
So the suggestion that we always say to the clients again is keep it simple. Start to very simple things. Like, for example, show up in the research of Google Maps, Apple Maps, and online directories in general.
Yeah. So how would you help your clients decide what to automate with AI versus like what is human led, right? Like marketing, operations, some of the very standard use cases like customer engagement.
Yeah.
How do you help?
So our approach usually is just the AI as a copilot. I mean, this is an incredible technology, but honestly, I think that we should not approach the new technologies as some company says, no, you don't need new employees, you just need new AI agents. No, I don't complain about if the message is so strong, is nice or not. I'm just complaining that for the human future, is something that is not exciting. Why we have to think that in the future the machines can really do everything we can do? It's not a nice message. I love the message where the AI technology can just side on your side, again, sit down on your side and
Yeah.
help you to work better, to be more productive, to save your time. And you can reinvest the time in so many strategic things. So what I believe is that if you have to help small business, the first step is just taking into consideration that your role as a human, and doesn't matter what is your role in the company, it will still be very crucial in this company. And then let's talk about how we can make your company more competitive, of course, considering your competitors on the market, because you will give to your employees the superpowers called AI that can just bring them another level, no, at a level of competition that is stronger than before.
So what are the standard use cases, Giovanni, you see in businesses that you can leverage the AI for to automate this task is?
So again, here for so many companies is about understand firstly what is the process, no? Because sometimes they come with the idea that the AI is magic and isn't, and the AI
That's
can
true.
fix anything, no. So their approach is, oh, let me see what the AI can do for my company. No, slow down again, calm down. tell me what is the process that you want to automatize in your company, what is the process you want to automate and you want to make efficiency in that field, and then we will understand how the AI can do it. Sometimes it could be faster because maybe it's an easy process. Sometimes it could be tough, so you need some customization. Anything, and today the nice thing is anything you can do with your laptop, with your computer in terms of process, open this windows, do this task, close, and blah blah blah. The AI can do it. You can train an AI to do it. The focus should be not how I can replace that specific and boring task, but how I can work on your process. I can understand your process, and then I will help you to automate it.
Okay. So, in that case, what do you see from your experience? What differentiates high performing SMEs who succeed with AI from those who fall behind, or not even for that matter, realize its value?
So the here I think that the most important aspect for small business is about the time that they're investing in. No, as always in the history, we have two categories. No, there are the business that are smarter, curious about new technology, and they invest time, they invest money, relative money, but they invest time in approaching new technologies. And there are another category that they are just wait. So they wait because they wanna wait for a mature technology, for something that is very easy to use and even to understand because so many other business are using, but it's too late because at that point you already lose your competition. So I think that the big difference here in terms of success is based on velocity and curiosity.
Okay. Okay. So, if you have to give one leadership insight to founders, navigating AI driven innovation, what would that be?
So probably invest time in understanding more what is happening. And the nice thing is it's completely free. I mean, you can open any YouTube channel and just starting to watch some tutorials or just understand about what is happening. So I think that this could be a key advantage for a business. Doesn't matter again if it's small or medium.
Could you elaborate on that, Giovanni? Like, what are you mentioning that they should understand more about AI and get more familiar with those technologies? Is that pretty much for entrepreneurs? That's what you're suggesting?
Yeah, it's exactly this one. And what usually happen in the entrepreneur's life is that when something new is available on the market, let's talk now about AI again, but it could be the robotic, anything of new innovation. The approach sometimes scares the small entrepreneurs because they say, "Oh my gosh, it's so complicated. Is something that is not for me. It's so expensive." If you ask them, no, what is the reason why that you are not using? Sometimes they say, "Oh, it's very expensive for me or it's requiring too many structure. I don't have people that can understand this." So these are the excuses that they use to justify that are not innovating in their business. Or you can find a lot of people now that they say, "Oh yes, I use the AI in my business." And you say, "Okay, explain me how you're using the AI in your business." And they say, "I just use ChatGPT to ask questions and get answers." And this is nice because it means that they are curious about how to use it, but their mindset is just focused about and connecting AI with GPT. So the first thing that they
I
should just reshape this mindset and say GPT is just a chatbot. It's just the very low base of the AI technology. Now start to think in the real world how the innovation can create a revolution in your business. And the only person that can do is the owners itself, because the
Hmm.
owners, entrepreneurs, the solo entrepreneurs, they know exactly how they can improve their business. They only need the tool, and the AI can be that tool, but you have to be very clear. The clarity is everything nowadays.
Yeah, yeah. So, what is your go to for entrepreneurs? Somebody who's kind of in this journey, where would they go to gain that knowledge? YouTube is one. Do you recommend anything, any other resources that they can go and find more information?
So personally, I found very helpful to read just a couple of newsletters. So subscribe some newsletters about AI, especially because you can just ask yourself like once per week how this new innovation that is happening on the market is conditioning or reflecting on your business. So I would say even reading news, but anything that can stimulate your mindset as an entrepreneur in terms of how to use the AI. And then again, another nice maybe uh, tips that you can apply, let's say like this way, is ask to the chatbot as well about how this new technology can help your business. So many people use GPT just to ask about questions, but in some case they already know the answer. But try to ask and give more context about, okay, let's say I'm a plumber. I would like to increase my clients. This is my context, da 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 da. This is what I want to do, blah 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 blah. This is the technology that I saw. I saw that there is a tool that can create automatically some contents for my social media. How I could leverage this technology for my business. So probably you don't have the skills to connect technology with your business, but the GPT or the Perplexity, whatever, they have it. So if you give the right context and you add value, because as a human, you know your business, the answer that you will get is something very valuable to implement in your business. And then you can also ask, okay, explain me the steps to implement this in my
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, so that was one of the recommendations we made, and also the small business actually made that effort to actually educate small businesses
Mm.
in AI, and especially even how to write better prompts in ChatGPT. Like whether you're a, like as you said, you can be a plumber, you can be a business owner, you can be an architect. So bring all these personas and try to give actual prompting, and it'll be surprised at how these do come out. Sometimes out
Yeah,
of the box thinking helps a lot. So
yeah.
so Giovanni, can you share a success story where your clients or SME used Webidoo's AI tools and saw a measurable transformation?
Yeah, we have plenty of them, honestly, and I love stories because probably the aspect that excites me more about my job is how this technology are really helping small and medium business to create something new or to explore areas of their business that they never done in the past. I have literally plenty of stories, and sometimes we record these stories in interviews, etc. But let me give you one that is a little bit scrappy as a story, but can really give you the idea of why every business can accelerate their transformation through the AI. We are talking about a funeral home business. They were just in place to manage a lot of clients. Of course, when someone passed away, you have to manage the relatives of these people. And usually they are in a very emotional moment. So in that emotional moment where you have maybe communicate some important data about the person that passed away, and these data are very important because you have to fill some papers online according to the government or the country where you live. So is on one side is a bureaucratic aspect, on another side is a very emotional moment, and many mistakes happen in this phase. So this funeral home asked us, can we do something with AI just to simplify and reduce the number of mistakes? So we created a flow, very easy, and a new and a custom flow where the person that is talking with the funeral home can just take a picture of the ID of the person that passed away, and we through the AI can elaborate the data from the ID and fill directly online the paper that they need to. And this reducing to zero, literally to zero, the number of mistakes. And they were super happy. And you can imagine, like, in a business, and even for me, I say, I didn't know that there is this real issue when you manage the clients for a funeral home. Then the same identical success story could be applied to maybe thousands of funeral homes in the world. And this is what really excited me, the idea to create with the clients, because the client is a part of the innovation. They help us to understand what we should create to fix problem globally.
Wow. That is, and you can replicate the same use case for a different thing as well. The
Yeah,
ID is such an important aspect in every form filling. Automating that is such an important task. So, yeah, no,
it is.
I can see the passion in which you solve this problem. So, which is,
Thanks. I know that is a creepy example, but again, any business, even the business that you never thinks about.
yes, that is so true. So, I mean, one thing I wanted to ask Giovanni is, what are the tech stacks that you use in a lot of these automations?
So, me personally, or as a company?
As a company, what kind of technical technology stack do you use?
So we have an entire department that is our R&D team. So people very expert and very passionate about new technologies. So the nice part of our company is that we do a lot of experiments. So probably I will say tons of new tools. What I can say you is again about the innovation that we are bringing in our company is when you scale and you increase the number of employees and you are from a startup to a scale up, no, you miss a lot of organization best practice and you usually create a lot of chaos and confusion. No, this is of course is common in any kind of scale up. Imagine to start from 5 employees and just in 1 2 years have hundreds of employees. No? So what the AI can in this kind of process, we are talking about organization or HR or SOPs, for example, can help you is just collect from the online research what are the best practice for a specific SOP. For example, what is the SOP to manage an event for Christmas? Now we are in December, maybe we will organize a Christmas event with our team members. And what is the procedure? What is the step? What is the checklist? What is all the SOP in terms of organization? It should be managed very well by the AI. So putting the AI firstly to reinforce your organization in terms of focus, in terms of process, and in terms of SOP, just to standardize, is something that is helping us a lot. And another one that I want to say is in terms of budgeting, when you have to decide what is the best average, for example, for a specific investment or in a specific country where you are opening your business and you don't have a lot of information, before the AI, you have to pay a lot of consultants to collect information and spending time to analyze. Now you literally in seconds, you can get this information and take important decisions in seconds instead of weeks or months. This is a great power that we are leveraging today, and I suggest to any company to start to use.
Yeah. So in your automation, when especially coming back to your technology stack, yes, right? What we have engineers and technocrats watching this show, right? So what kind of technology things do you recommend? Like softwares or programming languages. What do you recommend to that is most in demand? You're automating,
Yeah,
learning new technologies. What do you see
yeah.
as a big need?
So it depends of the size of your company. If you are very small, I truly suggest you digital tools and products like, for example, Juice, just to give an example, where there still is a human support. Because if you are small, you can rely on your capabilities, but maybe you still need also someone and you don't have people in your organization. So I suggest to focus on some specific tools, marketing automation tools like Juice or others, but where you can rely on a human support that can lead you in the onboarding phase and embrace the technology. If you are a medium business, so it means that you already have some people in your organization, maybe some IT managers, etc. What I
Right.
truly suggest is the workflow, AI workflow building. So products like Make, product like N8N,
Yeah.
or products like Lindy Eye as well. There are many of them, but just focus on it because if you have even a very low competence in terms of process and in terms of systems, like a junior IT manager or maybe even a person that is a back office person that help your company, you can just ask this person to do online tutorial and training and start to use these tools that are very easy to create automation in your.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, that's very insightful. So, coming down to our lightning round, so what is the one metric you think that reveals a business readiness for AI driven scaling?
So it depends how able you are to measure the productivity, but I think that the productivity is the key metrics, and productivity sometimes is related to the time. How much time you need to complete your task.
So, what is one leadership habit you rely on?
I believe that the AI is just something that can completely change your leadership style and your leadership skills. But as a leader, you have also to understand that you have a double track. On one side, you have the technology itself, like AI, digital tools, whatever, and they can do a lot of very nice, wonderful things for you. But on the other side, you have another track that is your soft skills and your investment in some specific habits and actions that you can do as a leader. Let's talk about time management. Let's talk about communication. Let's talk about a lot of things that are very common for decades. The leaders studied about them. And if you want to really succeed as a leader in the next 2-3 years, you have to keep this double track very clear. You have to invest your time in new technologies, but you have also invest your time in increasing your soft skills. And especially, there is a big problem today that the people are underestimated, that people approach the technology sometimes like literally replacing themselves. I'm seeing people, I'm seeing leaders and managers asking the AI any kind of important decision, any kind of important feedbacks, and using that answer to take decision in their business. I think that is very dangerous because the
That's
AI can, of
dangerous.
course, it's very dangerous, and they do. Hundred
Yeah.
thousand of people they do. So the probably, if you keep in mind that you have this double track, you are also able to understand every time that you have to put your human touch. I love to call the human touch in the technology itself.
Yeah. So, is there any book or concept or a podcast or a newsletter that really shaped how you lead today?
Oh, you touch on the point because I love books, and it's always a tough questions because I have thousands and thousands and thousands of books. I would say just a book that I'm reading nowadays that is Make Time, and I love it because it's not about the AI itself, but it's about the technologies and how sometimes reducing our dependency with the technology can really increase our productivity. The people think the opposite because we came from an era where working hard and working a lot was the success key to succeed. Now everything is changed, and how is your work-life balance? How you can manage your challenge with more clarity, with more focus, is what really give you the power to succeed. So this book, I like it because it mix the importance of technology, but the importance to use in the right way your technologies.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I feel also after COVID, things also changed in the way we
Mm,
view
mm.
time as well. So yeah, that's interesting. So what is one misconception founders still have about AI?
Probably the fact that the AI is magic. I literally heard people saying, the AI is wonderful for this. I can do this with AI. In the next future, I will do this with AI. This concept that something that there is nothing magic. I mean, internet in the 90s, for the people that remember this, is exactly the same. It's a big innovation that can change our life, of course, but it's not magic. So you have to think in any case how you can connect the dots and using this technology in the best way.
Okay, nice. That's good to know. And what is one task every business should automate first with AI?
I would say emails. You know why? Because when I speak with people, I love to ask them. And again, doesn't matter if you are small, big, from the business owner to the CEO of the big brands, they have always the same problem managing their mailbox because everything happen in your mailbox. You can like or you cannot like it, but everything happen in your email. So I think that the first task that every business should automate is their mailbox, helping their self through the AI to reduce the number of emails, to discard the emails that doesn't deserve the attention, and focus yourself on the things that really matter for your business.
Okay. I don't think the cold emails, people will like that.
No, not at all.
Yes, that's right.
But in any case, the people, when they open their mailbox, they even to understand what is the cold email, they lose time. So imagine, and it's very easy, you need minutes, automating your email to discard completely all the emails that are cold emails, and you don't need to invest time on them. Easy,
Okay.
but very impactful.
All right. That's great to know. So, one area where entrepreneurs should not rely on AI.
So for sure, the communication. I know that the AI is very good to communicate as well. Some people love to ask the AI to write down their contents. But I think that is one of the best quality that we have as a human is the energy that we can just spreading when we communicate. And it's people probably they are not finding this different today. They are not figure out that there is this different today. But if you read a book that someone a writer just made this book, and you read something that the AI has written, you can see a huge difference. And the huge difference, it's same word, but is the energy that these words can pass through you. No? So for this reason, I think that you should also prioritize and never leave the eye to replace communication skills in your organization.
Yeah, that's rightly said, Giovanni. Definitely, human element and human feelings, emotions have an utmost value. So, well, that really ends a very nice and a wonderful discussion, Giovanni. And I want to give you kudos for your passion in
Thank you so much.
solving,
You are so kind.
really, for solving and the most repetitive tasks and helping clients automate systems. So thank you for this conversation, Giovanni. For our listeners, if they want to reach out to you, what is the best way to connect with you?
So for sure, LinkedIn is my first channel. I also have a presence on Instagram. LinkedIn is my first channel, and I would love to interact with everyone that are passionate for technologies, small business, or entrepreneur stories.
So that is wonderful. And if you all want to reach out to Giovanni, feel free. We'll drop the links as well as part of this podcast. Thank you all, and tune in for our next session.
It was a great pleasure, and thanks for hosting me.
Thank you, Giovanni.
Have a wonderful day.